Hey everybody, how's it going? So I wanted to talk to all of you as we come into this Christmas season, holiday season, New Year's parties, all of these things, about how what I built, this cube, that's crazy menagerie of colors and things behind me, and how that relates to your everyday life in general, which is we all live in boxes, we all live in cubes, right? The cube is just a pod, a play pod that is complex and simple, but it condenses a lot of really um, randomized movement, a lot of stepping, ducking, moving, thinking, organizing. There's a lot of agility involved, cognitive function, movement function, physical ability. All of that goes on inside there. But think about how often that happens in your everyday life, right? The only reason it isn't as complicated, unless you have a very messy home, is that everything is organized in some place. Okay? All I do in the cube is disorganize your place and give you simple tasks to do to solve while you're in there. Okay? Just a little backstory of what this is. And the reason I want to make this video is to talk about how this relates to your everyday life. Because in the cube by itself, to move around and kind of play around with nobody else in the room is pretty easy. You kind of just figure out, you just duck and move and like say, I'm going to touch all the reds or I'm going to touch all the blues. You can see the, wait, back there, somewhere back there, the little spinny wheel, right? It can be as easy as that. Spin the wheel, use your right hand, touch all the reds, just like Twister, okay? Um, when the cube is facilitated, when someone is actually on the outside giving you tasks to do, okay? And there's a phrase that goes with the cube is that while you are playing, while you're inside the cube, there are no rules, there are no rights and wrongs, and you can do anything you want. Okay? So what that does is me as the facilitator on the outside is I've removed all of the power I have from you, from me stopping you from doing something wrong. Okay? You can literally stand there inside the cube after I give you the task to do and say, I don't want to play, and you're still correct. Okay? Those are boundaries. That's saying, I don't want to do what you're asking me to do. Okay? And a lot of people will say, well, I thought there wasn't any rules. You just keep giving me more rules. And what the difference is that I give you tasks to do, such as right hand red, left hand blue, and if you feel like there are rules, then that's something inside of you that is telling you that I have to do it this way or I'll be wrong or something will happen or I'll be punished or I'll be like um, disciplined or whatever. And these are things that happen through childhood, through work experiences, or it could be from anywhere. It could be complex. That's what complex trauma is. It's just multiple layers of the same thing all blended together. And it's hard to figure out what to solve first to solve the rest. Okay? So, um, the simple tasks are what become challenging because it's like, what's the catch? Right? If you're playing the cube, it's like, what's the catch? Right? It seems too easy, seems too simple. Okay? But to me, as the facilitator on the outside, watching you solve the really simple thing shows me that what you're afraid of, what you're uncertain of, what validation you're seeking. Okay? It shows all of these things. And that's why it's so beneficial in mental health and in trauma is because the person on the outside, depending on how educated they are in trauma or in human behavior or mental health, can observe a person on the inside of the cube as they solve these very simple tasks such as right hand red, left hand blue. You know your rights and your lefts and your reds and your blues, so should be pretty easy, right? But what happens is that we feel like we're being watched. We feel like we're being, like someone's waiting for us, waiting to catch us do the wrong thing. Okay? So here's the difference. The difference. It's not really the word I want to use when I'm saying this. The similarity, I guess, to life in the cube is when I give people like right hand red, left hand blue, they'll stop and be like paralyzed in indecision of whether or not they're going to touch the correct ball or not. Okay? And here's a space that has zero consequences. I cannot stop you from doing what you're doing. You can't be right, you can't be wrong. It's just your space to move and to interact and to play with, right? So I can't stop you. I can't tell you you're wrong. I can't tell you like, oh, you should touch the orange one. Why did you touch the orange one? You're supposed to touch the red one. I can't do that, right? Because what I told you in the beginning was that there are no rules. There are no rights and wrongs, and you can do whatever you want. Okay? So when you tell yourself or give yourself some sort of limitation saying, I can't do that, or I do them all, I touch all the reds and all the blues once and I stop and go, all right, now what? All right, and I'll be like, right hand green, left hand yellow, and you go through, touch all the greens and yellows, and you stop and you're like, now what? Okay? What does that show us? Now I do it again because this is what I normally do, and it's 3 times through, and it's like, all right, now your right hand is blue and your left hand is orange, and you go through again and you stop and go, now what? Think about that. Is that you being afraid of being wrong? Is that you're a really good worker? That you're a good employee? That you're going to do the job that was asked of you? Exactly how it was asked of you, and then come back to me as your manager or your boss and go, hey, I did the thing, now what? Or is it you coming back and saying, did I do it correct? I need the validation for myself to know that the task that I did, the thing that I did was perfect enough. And I need the validation that comes with coming back to the person that asked me to do it to find out if it was correct. Okay? So these are the things I run into on a very regular basis of watching people solve a very simple task. Okay? The simplicity of the task is what becomes complex because they think they're doing it this way, and that's actually like they think they're wrong, or it gets too challenging and they start to get flustered, and then all of a sudden they freeze. They think they're waiting for the thing they're waiting to be shocked for doing the wrong thing, but there's no wrong thing. You can't do it wrong. And that's what gets everybody is that something so simple, it elicits all of these emotions out of us because I'm just watching. I'm just giving you simple things to do. You're doing them or not doing them based on what you're choosing to do or not do. And anything that comes out of you, whether in the movement, whether in your habits, your performance, your feelings, that's coming out of you and showing itself as you play the game. So the beauty of this is as you play the game, I can continue to change the tasks, those tiny little simple tasks. I can keep changing them in such a subtle way, we call it titration, in such a subtle way that I can keep pulling out of you these things that are causing you to do these patterns. Okay? So here's the thing to think about. If you're in a space that has zero consequences, 100% zero consequences, you cannot do it wrong, you cannot do it right, there's no rules, you can literally stand there and say I don't want to play and you're still correct. Okay? So in that situation, if you're still paralyzed in indecision from doing the wrong thing in a place that there is no wrong, I want you to think about how you live your life when things actually have consequences. Okay? How do you live your life when, think about like the simple thing of like buying a new pen, right? Maybe you have the same kind of pen you love and it's the same pen. You buy it every single time. So you run to the store, you grab the pen, you're gone, you're out. Okay? Well, maybe you're like, you know what? I want to check out, see what's out there, and maybe try a new kind of pen. And you walk into the store and there's a wall of pens. You've been in Staples, there's a wall of pens. Which pen do you want? And you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, you're staring, and there's like so many decisions, just like the balls behind you. There's so many decisions. Which pen do I want? I don't know. I can't figure it out. But there's also very little consequence to buying the wrong pen. There's some because now you're out of money and now you're out of time because now you left the store and you try the pen and you don't like the pen. Now you either have to go back and get another one or you spent the money. Okay? Very minor consequence. Okay? But each time it expands, it could be a decision you're making while you're driving. It could be a decision you're making for your children. It could be a decision you're making for your own life, what you want to do for your job, your work, your life, what things you want for your home. What kind of home do you want? What kind of car do you want? Those are really big decisions that have consequences. Okay? So, what I do with people in the cube is help them process out these feelings that they have around potentially doing the wrong thing, right? In here, people will freeze, be completely paralyzed and indecision because they're waiting to be shocked. They're waiting to be punished. They're waiting to be told that they're fired for doing the wrong thing when there's not ever actually a wrong thing. Okay? So that thing, what I'm talking about, literally affects your life subconsciously. You live your life in paralyzation, in indecision, paralysis by analysis on things that matter, right? Things that could change your life forever, things that are opportunities that could change your life forever. You're holding back on because you're afraid or uncertain, or you're subconsciously from childhood waiting for a boot in your ass for doing the wrong thing or being punished over and over again for like making a decision that you didn't know the answer for to begin with. Right? As a child, you had no idea what the actual answer was for the question or for the task that you're doing, and you did it incorrectly based on what the person wanted you to do, but they never told you how to do it or how they wanted you to do it. Or maybe you misinterpreted how they wanted you to do it and you did it wrong and you were punished for it. Okay? That lives inside of you as part of you, and it has a direct effect on how you still live your life, on whether or not you're willing to make decisions to move your life forward or not, whether or not you feel you're going to be punished for the decision. You're paralyzed in that decision. Okay? That's the things that the cube pulls out the most, is getting you past these fears of indecision and being able to move past it, move through it, right? It's agreed upon through the trauma world and the mental health world that to solve trauma, to get these things out of our inner selves, our inner children that are locked inside here, to get them out, we need to mobilize it out of our body. We have to move our body to get out the thing that's bothering us, so it's gone. We've now let the emotion come all the way out and express itself. Okay, so we know we need to move. We know we need to get that out of us, and now we can go and live a life devoid of the feeling that we're going to be punished for a decision that has little to no consequence. In the cube, there's zero consequence. Absolutely none. No consequences. And yet we still, over and over and over again, see people one after another paralyzed in indecision, paralyzed in fear of like what they're doing and why they're and if they're going to do it wrong or whatever, and the tears come out because they feel terrible. Why do I feel like this? Well, now we can start to talk about that. Like, why do you feel like that? Where's that coming from? Right? And here's the thing, like there, and I always mention this as myself as a coach. Okay, I'm not a licensed mental health professional. I can't diagnose. I can't treat specific diagnoses. I'm here to help you process your inner child, your wounded little person that's deep inside of you that needs help, that you've left back there 5, 10, 15, 70 years ago, that's still back there. That's what I'm here to do is I help bring that out and mobilize that and get that out so you can bring that little person that you left back there that didn't know any better and tell them, hey, guess what? We made it. We did it. We're good. We have an amazing life. We have a family that's our own family. We're doing great for ourselves. We've made it. Right? Like, man, we didn't know back then. We didn't know that what we were doing was wrong. We didn't know that we could have like told an adult. We didn't know we could have ran to the neighbor's house and escaped these situations. We just didn't know. But what I can help you with is to go back there, to access that little person back there and tell them it's okay. And bring them back up here with you. Like, come on. Like I call it like pulling the silver string, right? It's like pulling this little thread from like all the way back there and pulling it all the way out to back to here to the present and saying, hey, here we are. Look what we did. Congratulations. You have to bring them up there with you. If not, they stay back there and they're stuck processing like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I can't believe I got in trouble. I can't believe like like how do I get out of this? Like I'm always getting yelled at, like I'm always in trouble, and like this is still happening in there. That's still happening deep inside of you. And on top of that, all these layers, all these complex layers these coping mechanisms and these things that you've built around it to allow that little person back there to still ponder what the hell they did wrong and why. And how do you fix it? And like I just need to be perfect forever because if I'm not perfect forever, I never figured out what I did wrong to begin with back then. So I'm always going to have to make sure that I do everything exactly perfect to make sure it never happens again. We get stuck in this hyper perfection loop of like I have to work hard, I have to do all the things right, it has to be perfect. If it's not perfect enough, it's never going to be good enough. Because you don't know why you got punished to begin with, right? You don't know why you're ashamed to begin with because it was given to you. And now you hold on to it and you're like, well, shit, like nobody told me why I have it. Nobody told me what I did to deserve it or how to get it or how I got it. So now I have to live my whole life in this hyper perfection mode to make sure that there's no possible way that I can make another mistake that would get me in trouble again. And a lot of adults live this way. A lot of kids live this way. There isn't a right and wrong way. There is a better way and a not better way, right? We know that there's better ways because we've done them through experience as an adult. Here's probably the best way to do this based on what I know. But now we have the internet and you can go, what is the best way that other people know as well? And now you can go, let's do it that way. That way makes way more sense. So there is not really a right or wrong. There's a better way and a not better way. Are there rules? Well, don't hurt somebody. Don't hurt yourself. Don't break the law. Some of them, right? So when I have that saying of like, there are no rules to the game, to life, really, it's your life, right? Follow the ones that make sense. Follow the ones that are like moral. There are no rights and wrongs. Do whatever you want. Do it however you want to do it. Just realize that If you choose to do it one way and it's not the easiest way or the best way, and it causes you more harm than good, then it probably wasn't the best way. And you can try again another time, a different way, and do it the other way. Okay? So, um, yeah. So that's what I help people with. That's what the cube does. I can do that virtually over Zoom. I can do it with those blocks back there. Sorry, I keep getting confused. The blocks back there. Um, but there's no reason to hold on to that. It's not you. That's not the you inside. That's this little kid that you got left behind. That got left behind there that's struggling. It's like, why me? Like, how do I get out of this? Like, bring me back up there with you. They don't know you're doing well. And how much better could you be doing if you were all you? All of you, the you that was left behind, plus the you that's now, all mixed together as one whole person. How good could you be doing? Right? That's the power of that. That's the power of getting back there and helping that little person come back up and say, hey, holy shit, look at this, we did it. Okay? So, if you have any questions, you want to check it out, I am doing virtual cube sessions. If you see this video before the end of the year, I am doing $99. You can purchase as many as you'd like before the end of the year for $99. Um, After the first of the year, they're going to go to $129. And as the schedule fills up, because I haven't done virtual before, this is a new offering, virtual sessions. You can go from anywhere. It works the same as you being in the safest space in your home using your own objects. The same as the cube behind me with artificial objects. Okay? If you're somewhere else and you want to do virtual sessions for a while and eventually come here to Raleigh, North Carolina, or wherever we end up living at, and you want to come to me to do in-person cube sessions, then there'll be a price for 1 week with me, 1 hour a day for 5 days. Okay? Still working on that package and what it all includes. So I'll update you as I know that. But for right now, get in here, get on virtual, get on Zoom. We'll do as many as we can that way. You can buy as many as you want before the end of the year for $100, $99, and then it's $129 after that. The price will eventually go up to $250, depending on how fast my schedule fills up. So get in soon and get some of yourself back. Get some of you back that you left behind. All right, that's what this is all about. You're capable. You matter. You're important. Your little person you left behind there for some reason is also important. You have needs. You matter. Okay? Get a hold of me. Let's work through it. I'll see you guys soon. Check out theomnicube.com. You can also check out my website at movetherapy.org. And my socials are movetherapync. That is on Instagram and Facebook. All right. So I will see you guys soon. And if you have any questions, leave me a message. Send me an email at joe@theomnicube.com. And I'll respond to you on there. You can send me DMs on Instagram and Facebook. Also respond on there. I can do a consultation with you, talk for 20, 30 minutes, find out if this is the right thing for you, and find out if I can help. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Have a great couple weeks. Have a great holiday. Have a great New Year whenever I see you. So, take care.